Hi, how you doing? Say, I wanted to know if maybe you'd cut me just a little slack and let me just do an old man rant for you here. I just saw the news, and they were telling about how the CIA discovered that China intentionally downplays the severity of this virus, all the while that they are stockpiling masks and medical equipment and ventilators, and they're not exporting those things as they normally did. They're keeping them back for themselves. And I'm a pretty peaceful person, and maybe when I was younger, I was probably grouchy at times, and impatient and that. But as I got older, I kind of mellowed out and got down. But this thing is really starting to bother me and tapping into some anger that I have really not experienced before. Um, it's it's like there was, the only thing I could think that it's like is like how we felt after Pearl Harbor. It's we're just living our lives here. We're just happy to be alive, And I think the Chinese people are the same. The common people are like anywhere. They just want to be kind of left alone and be able to live their lives. And then suddenly, somebody over in this lab, and I am confident that this virus was collected, stored in that lab, and some incompetent person let it out. And this death cloud comes halfway around the world and settles in my backyard. And I have to watch people die, and I have to be concerned with my own health, and I watch the news and the anguish with the economy being destroyed and people being afraid. And it really bothers me. I don't know what we can do about it. Except that these scientists and these governments that have these labs, they ought to quit that. I mean, because they know they are dealing with something that could have disasters of biblical proportions. And this thing that we have, if this coronavirus had the lethality of Ebola, half of us would be dead. And we're only a half step away from that, and these people in these labs. And in China, they crawl into those dark caves where the bats are and find the nastiest little bugs they can and drag them back to this lab that the French built for them. And then China turns it over to the military. Well, military, they usually get involved in weapons systems, so you wonder about it. But scientists all say it was not altered any, but they have this nasty little thing there, and they want to make a pet out of it, and it gets loose, and it burns down Wuhan, and they keep it a secret, and they stockpile their masks to protect their people, to deny our people. They keep it secret from the world, so nobody can prepare. So maybe there could have been an alarm risen that would have been loud enough to even get through to Trump, and have a better reaction here or in Italy or anywhere. And we're denied that, and they'll recover from that, and then their economy will be fine, and we're going to be sitting here, and I hear about these states that are going to sue them, and I say, you go. And I just feel like if I have to pay twice as much money for a pair of American-made shoes and then not buy it from China, I'm into that. And I think probably economically is the only way through lawsuits. Big tobacco was brought to bear by lawsuits. Asbestos was brought to bear by lawsuits. Those weren't brought to bear by governmental actions or responsible people in Washington. The lawyers did that for us. Airbags in cars are in there because of lawyers. Safety is there because of lawyers and economic impact. And China has a lot of money, and a lot of it's come from us, and they build up their military and flex their muscles in the South China Sea, and pushing all around with this type of stuff. And I feel just immense anger, and It's unusual for me. But I just wanted to say something. I don't know if the rest of you feel any of that. We're so embroiled with trying to just survive this that I don't think we've had time to think about where and why did this come, and did it have to come, and who's responsible, and is that person liable, and is that country liable? Are they liable? It's looking like if they're keeping this thing a secret so that the rest of the world could burn, I think they are liable. I don't know what we could do about it. I wrote my senators with some similar thoughts, and I said, do something. I don't think we could just stand here, because we're going to be, you set your economy back, 5 years, you kill a bunch of your people. It's like you've had somebody drop a bomb on you, but it's a biological bomb. I don't know the answer, but thanks for giving me a little bit of time just to spew that out, because it's been bothering me. And if you've got some comments on it, I'm not anti-Chinese. I've been to China 3 times. My brother worked there for 15 years. I've met those people, and those people are like us. They smile, they're happy to see you, But the governments, their governmental actions, they're the ones that are bad. And like I think, if Denmark had done this, I would say we should do this. You should make Denmark responsible and liable. And even if the U.S. did this, they start playing around with this and unleash something in our nation that did to us what it's doing here now in Wuhan, I don't think they should be doing that. And I think a strong message needs to be sent. I guess it'll all pan out in the months and months that follow this, and it'll take us a while to get on our feet. But I'm pretty angry.